Hello and welcome to Speed Cafe's preview of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Proudly brought to you by the Ford Ranger Raptor, three-time winner at Fink. The Hungarian Grand Prix is the final stop on the calendar before Formula One's traditional mid-season summer break, as the 2025 World Championship heads to the tight and twisty Hungaroring for round 14 of the season. Nestled just outside of Budapest, this 4.381-kilometre circuit has hosted the Hungarian Grand Prix every year since 1986, making it one of the most enduring venues in modern F1. Often likened to Monaco without walls, the Hungaroring is narrow, technical, and notoriously difficult to overtake on, though its pole-to-win conversion ratio tells a different story. Despite its reputation for lack of overtaking, fewer than 50% of the Hungarian Grand Prix in history have been won from pole position, the sixth lowest on the current calendar. In fact, only 3 of the last 10 pole sitters have gone on to win the Hungarian Grand Prix, with the last being Lewis Hamilton back in 2020. Now that stat might give hope to those starting lower down the grid, but don't get too carried away. In fact, only 3 drivers in the history of the Hungarian Grand Prix have won the race from lower than 4th on the grid. Those being Jenson Button in 2006, Esteban Ocon in 2021, and Max Verstappen the following year in 2022, meaning that starting in the top 4 is still very crucial at this circuit. One man who probably doesn't matter where he starts right now, he's still confident of going well, is Oscar Piastri. Coming into this round riding high after his record-breaking 6th Grand Prix victory of the season last time out in Belgium, he's returning to the place that saw him net his first ever Grand Prix win 12 months ago. The Belgian victory, of course, moved him past Sir Jack Brabham and Alan Jones for the most ever wins by an Australian in a single F1 campaign, and drew him level with Daniel Ricciardo, a man who won here in 2014 on 8 career Grand Prix victories. If Piastri can win this weekend in Hungary, back-to-back wins, of course, at the circuit, he will tie his manager, Mark Webber, with 9 career victories, the 3rd most by any Australian F1 driver. And records wouldn't stop there for Piastri if he is to win this weekend in Hungary. It, of course, would be his 7th Grand Prix win this season, which would be the 2nd most equal by a McLaren driver in a single campaign, tying Alain Prost, Ayrton Senna and Kimi Raikkonen as having achieved that feat for the Woking-based squad. Piastri's win in Hungary last year also added to a special unique piece of Hungaroring history. This circuit has a unique knack for creating first-time Grand Prix winners, with Damon Hill, Fernando Alonso, Jenson Button, Heikki Kovalainen, Esteban Ocon and Piastri all winning their very first race at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Could we see another first-time winner this weekend at the Hungarian Grand Prix? Stranger things have happened, so watch this space. On the opposite end of that spectrum, though, is Lewis Hamilton, the man with the most wins in Formula One history, also has the most wins at the Hungarian Grand Prix, 8 in total. He has absolutely gone gangbusters at this circuit over the years. He'll be hoping for at least a podium this weekend as he enters his 14th race with the Scuderia, yet to finish on the podium. Now, if Hamilton doesn't land on the podium this weekend, he will equal the great Gilles Villeneuve for 2nd longest wait for podiums for Ferrari. Only Didier Pironi, with 19 races, had to wait longer to get that first podium for the red team. Closer to home, Kiwi fans, as always, will be keeping an eye on their man Liam Lawson, who's only just 1 more points finish away from joining a select group of New Zealand Formula One drivers in history. Lawson's been in some strong form recently, got some more points last weekend out in Belgium, and he only needs 1 more points finish this year to join Chris Amon, Bruce McLaren and Denny Hulme as the only New Zealand drivers in the history of the sport to score in 4 or more races in a single Formula One season. And sticking on statistics in terms of team performance at the Hungaroring, McLaren hold the record for most victories at this circuit. They've won in Hungary 12 times over the years, while Ferrari and Williams are next. They've each won 7 times at this circuit. Another fun fact about Hungary to share with you today is this circuit holds 2 very distinct Formula One historical milestones. In 2008, when Heikki Kovalainen won his first and only Grand Prix, of course Felipe Massa famously breaking down on the last lap to hand Kovalainen that win, he became the 100th different winner in the history of Formula One. Fast forward 11 years later to 2019, when Max Verstappen secured his very first pole position in the sport, and he became the 100th different pole sitter in the history of Formula One, giving Hungary a very rare and unique and quirky statistic to look back on. And still on statistics, despite this circuit being tight and twisty and maybe expecting a lot more chaos than you think, only 25% of races in Hungary have actually seen a safety car, making it one of the more stable races on the calendar when it comes to seeing the car on the circuit. And one final note on this year's Hungarian Grand Prix is that there have been some changes since we last time raced at the Hungaroring. The pit lane, main straight and grid area have all been resurfaced with new asphalt, designed to reduce undulations and deliver more consistent grip. Some recent GT racers at the circuit provided some feedback saying that you could feel the changes slightly altered at the circuit. So that is something to keep an eye out this weekend. So as the paddock prepares to close its doors for the summer, there's still plenty on the line to look out for this weekend in Budapest. Will Piastri go back-to-back not only in Hungary but in rounds once again this season in 2025? Will Lando Norris bounce back from his disappointment in Belgium? Or will we see another brand new winner at the Hungarian Grand Prix this weekend? So much to look forward to. It's such a great race. And of course, for everything that happens this weekend in Hungary, from results to all the latest news, stay tuned right here to Speed Cafe.